Ladies and gentlemen, the time of the year has come. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and the sky is extra blue. The stress of school and homework is gone, and it's finally a chance to relax. Ladies and gentlemen, it's summertime, and you know what that means. It's time for the Euros. And I don't know why, but this one seems extra special. But enough of the chitter chatter, because today I'll be doing my preview and predictions for the tournament. I know some of the things I'm about to say are gonna come back and bite me in the ass, but who cares? That's what makes predictions so special. But yeah, let's get straight into things.
We're not here just to take part. We're here to take over.
So, the criteria I'm gonna be going off of is very simple. I'll be predicting the winner, the runner-up, the dark horse, the biggest flop, the top scorer, the top assister, and the player of the tournament. And where better else to start in the final? Me personally, I think the final is gonna be played by Germany and France. I know. It's the most obvious choices, but I just don't see any of them slipping up. I mean, just look at their squads. Germany have so many players that have had amazing seasons. They got a good balance at the back in Rudiger, who is coming off a Champions League win, and he provides the leadership and experience at the back that is very much needed in European competitions. In the midfield, they got Toni Kroos, who's going to be playing in his very last tournament because he's retiring after Euros. And the experience and winning mentality that he brings will only help Germany as the tournament goes on, especially in the knockouts and beyond. While experience is very good and is very important if you want to go deep into international competitions, but so is youth. And let me tell you, Germany have an abundance of youth players like Florian Wirtz and Jabal Musiala, who've had amazing Bundesliga campaigns respectively. And they will both be fighting for that attacking midfielder spot. And moving on to the forwards, they got even more players that have been on red hot form this season. Fulkrug had an amazing campaign with Dortmund. And also Kai Havertz, who's been kind of shit for so long, is finally going into a tournament after having a good season with Arsenal. Moving on to France. And they arguably have the best squad in the Euros, and in my opinion they should be the heavy favorites to win it all. You got the usual suspects, Griezmann, Mbappe, Giroud, and N'Golo Kante, who all need to be on their A game and leaders for the rest of the squad. But in my opinion, where they have the advantage is their depth at defense. They got players like Saliba and Konate who've had amazing campaigns. Also in attack and midfield, they've got two PSG studs, Barcola and Zaire Emery, who might not get many minutes, but are amazing options off the bench. Unfortunately for France though, I am gonna pick Germany to win it all. I think the balance they have between youth and experience is amazing. And with the Euros being in Germany, I think it just serves as an extra motivation for Germany to go and win it all. So yeah, I got my winners as Germany and the runners up as France. I know it might be a bit of a hot take having Germany over France, but I believe in the fairy tale of Toni Kroos riding off into the sunset with the Champions League and Euros in either hand. Moving on though, I am going to pick my dark horse. I know it might not be the most obscure of picks, but I am going to go with Belgium for this one. Year after year, tournament after tournament, Belgium have failed to impress. They were ranked #1 nation in the world for such a long time, but their golden generation can never seem to get it done. But I think this tournament will be different. While I don't necessarily think they'll make it to the final or anything, I'll be willing to bet that they make it to the semis and even get third place. They've got a new, young, attacking-minded manager, good solid options in the back including Faiz, Vertonghen, and Timothy Castagne. They got a well-balanced midfield where they got the engine, Amadou Onana, as well as the veteran duo of De Bruyne and Yuri Tillmans. So yeah, I do think if all the stars align and the likes of De Bruyne and Lukaku are firing, Belgium have a very good chance of causing an upset and maybe even winning the whole thing. Now moving on to the biggest flop, and this is where things get juicy, because as my biggest flop, I have England. Yup, once again, football will not be coming home, unfortunately, for the Three Lions. And before you go down and chew me up in the comments, let me explain why. First of all, Gareth Southgate doesn't know what he's doing, and England need to get rid of him if they were ever to be taken serious at an international competition. First of all, he left out two of the most experienced and reliable players throughout the last couple of years for England, those being Harry Maguire and Jack Grealish. Two players who might have not been particularly lighting it up for their clubs, but when it comes to international tournaments, Grealish and Maguire are simply outstanding, and I don't get Southgate's thought process behind doing this. Another thing is the unity within the country, and especially how the media reacts to the players after a loss. After the home defeat to Iceland on Friday, the media decided to use a picture of Saka, out of all people, to put on the cover of England's loss, even though he only played 25 minutes the whole night. I'm not gonna sit here and point fingers and say who's racist or not, but do with that information as you will. So in my opinion, a whole combination of things will lead to another disastrous tournament for England. And in my opinion, I think Southgate should be sacked after Euro 2024. Alright, moving on to a more positive prediction. Let's predict the top scorer. And I'm gonna keep it real here. But this pick is the boring answer, and I am going with Kylian Mbappe. Come on, man. The guy showed what he could do in the international tournaments and has always showed up for his country in the biggest of moments. He'll have the little extra motivation of being a Real Madrid player finally, and I think he'll get it done and be once again the top scorer. Staying on the topic of France, for the top assister, I am going to go with Antoine Griezmann. I mean, the guy has been outstanding for the last couple years, both for club and country, and in my opinion, he is one of the top 10 players in football in the last 10 years. Truly an underrated genius. So yeah, Griezmann is my pick for top assister. Now, moving on to my last but definitely not least prediction, player of the tournament. With this one, I have two candidates, and funnily enough, they're both attacking midfielders. I got Florian Wirtz and Bruno Fernandes. Florian Wirtz, first of all, is coming off an amazing breakthrough season with Leverkusen, where they almost achieved an unbeaten treble with Xabi Alonso. I think this tournament will be a breakout tournament for him, and with all the veteran presence around him and the Euros being in his home country, I think Euro 2024 will be a very kind tournament to Florian Wirtz. But moving on, we have our other candidate, Bruno Fernandes, captain of United and one of Portugal's most important players. A lot of people clown on him for being a crybaby and whatnot, but there is no denying he's a creative genius and one of the best players and leaders in the world. So yeah, I generally don't know who to pick between these two. I just put them both in. But yeah, those are my predictions for Euro 2024. Let me know what you think about them in the comments down below. And with that being said, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe because best believe we are here to take over.